The newest Borderlands 4 trailer that premiered at the Game Awards was very exciting for the community. Obviously, our boy Randy was hyping it up on Twitter, and it was our first look at actual in-engine, in-game footage. But when I raced to Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, the cesspools of the internet at this point, I was quickly and swiftly reminded of how incredibly toxic the Borderlands community can be. It's unfortunate, but I know this isn't just a Borderlands problem, it's a gaming industry problem. The worst of the worst have come out in full force and spammed garbage onto the internet at record-breaking pace. The bruised apples are everywhere. The dimmest bulbs are somehow shining the brightest. It's absurd. But specifically, I want to kind of talk about how the reaction to the Borderlands 4 gameplay trailer, if you want to call it that, has just really got me thinking about the Borderlands community. I mean, look at the amount of backlash to the bland, in aggressive air quotes, Vault Hunters. Really? These are bland? Have you looked at the other 20-some that we've gotten in the past? Are you blind, deaf, and mute, Aaron? What the are you talking about? You think Mordecai looks special? You think Axton looks special? Also, we only got like maybe 2 examples of the Vault Hunters actually doing anything, using their skills or their class abilities, whatever the official name is. It doesn't matter. Guys, why are we judging a book by its cover when that cover looks the same as everything else in the game and we're acting like it doesn't? And by game, I mean series. You get the point. I think this really highlights the problem with modern Borderlands. And I think it's a lot more simple than most people would suggest. We can argue in circles about the story, the gameplay, the endgame loops, the dedicated drops, the DLCs, the characters, NPCs, the whole 9. But at the end of the day, it really all comes down to one thing, and that's the community. More specifically, the fact that this community is fundamentally split with 2 fundamentally different groups. We've got the OG purists from the Borderlands 1 and 2 days who want everything to just be more Borderlands 2 DLC, and then we've got maybe a younger, newer audience who enjoys the quality of life and the updated mechanics of 3 and maybe Wonderlands. We've also got a kitty. Let's go say hi. All right, Chai, what do you think of Borderlands 4? I'm getting stiff-armed. Holy shit. Dude. He wants out. He wants out. He loves me so much, I promise. Listen, I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret with Borderlands 2. A secret that the purists don't want to agree with. If Borderlands 2 came out now, especially in the state that it released on release day in 2012, it would make Concord look good. Are you guys understanding that? It's not that great of a game, especially with how dated playing it actually feels. Because guys, this is not a movie. This is not a TV show. Yeah, story's important, I get it, for your first playthrough, maybe your second, but we're playing a game. The moment-to-moment gameplay should be the most important. It certainly is for me. So we gotta relax. We gotta come back to reality. We gotta understand that things are gonna evolve and improve and change over time. And really, you guys need to understand that Borderlands 2 was a product of its time. For better or worse, it was. It hit at a good time. It was a breath of fresh air for the looter shooter genre. It kind of redefined the looter shooter genre. And that's great. And we can praise it. And it's still an S tier game, but it's a product of its time. It's not perfect. And it's not even the best experience in the series at this point in late 2024. The world of gaming has changed a lot in 12 entire years since Borderlands 2 hit. And unfortunately, that formula that worked so well at the time doesn't work as well. Now, at this point in the video, you guys are assuredly typing your little fingies to death. You're getting hand cramps because you're so frustrated that I like the newer games like Borderlands 3. And yeah, I'll say it, I love Borderlands 3. I haven't memorized the story, I haven't maxed out every character, but I've put in a couple hundred hours and I look back on them fondly. I took everything I enjoyed from the original games that I grew up on, 2 in the pre-sequel, and modernized them. We still get the colorful, almost cel-shaded art style. I know it's not technically cel-shading, but relax, guys. Close enough. The numbers go up, makes my monkey brain happy, okay? We still have all that. The looter shooter stuff is great, but we have more modern gameplay. The moment-to-moment action. It's just better. So I like it a lot. And it's hard to go back and play the older games. I played 1. I gave kind of a review, a 15 years later kind of thing. Go check that video out if you want. And I praised it. I liked it, but it still feels dated because it is. Because modern games have modern mechanics that aren't present in the older games. And I can acknowledge that and praise those aspects, those improvements. Take something as small as the number of respawn points and fast travel points within the larger areas of Borderlands 3. It's not every area, but most of them have multiple fast travel points. Then look at Borderlands 2 and look at something like the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve, if I'm saying that right, where you gotta walk 5+ minutes to get to wherever the f you wanna go. Look, I know I'm stupid for taking the Tannis fetch quest, but my point is still very valid. Also, don't complain about fetch quests in Borderlands 3 when they're rampant in Borderlands 2 as well. Crazy how bias works, isn't it, fellas? So going back to the trailers, we see that potentially Borderlands 4 is taking a Destiny approach where you can just spawn your vehicle without a catch-a-ride station in a pretty open world, not fully open. They're saying it's seamless, so maybe there's some loading screens, some interiors, but mostly exterior. Whatever. You're saying that's not a good quality of life? You're going to be mad that we can just spawn our cars to get over giant areas that would take 5+ minutes to run around? We should be embracing that because it's better. Gearbox is not going to satisfy both groups. So here we are with a community that's going to be pissed off no matter what, because you got people who are super happy with the changes or super mad about the changes. And there's going to be changes. That's how sequels work. They improve, or do their best to improve and iterate and make things better. That's what they're going to do. This kind of divide does happen in most gaming franchises that reach a certain number of fans, a certain number of sales, a certain number of games. I get it. It's kind of inevitable. You're going to have people that prefer things that may have been changed, or people who like those changes. That's not a bad thing inherently, but when it gets toxic and when it becomes such a crazy negative discussion nonstop for years about every game, that's not a good thing. And I think we should shun the people who are adding to that toxicity. I can't help but start to point fingers at some of the creators and people in the community who have fostered constant negativity, not going to name names, but you all know who I'm talking about, versus other creators who have had fun, just enjoying the games, whether it's the newer titles or the older titles. They're just being positive and having fun with it. Anyways, just kind of wanted to get this off my chest. I could probably rant about, Borderlands 2 versus Borderlands 3 in a separate video. Might do that. Let me know if you want to see it. But yeah, expect more Borderlands content from me on this channel. I've got the little poster up there. I've said it before, but Borderlands has been one of my favorite games and franchises forever. So it's about time I start making more content for it. If you like the video, it does help me out. Subscribe for more of your second favorite F word, and hopefully catch you in the next one. Take care.